Blessings and good evening. When we put effort into our practice on occasions like last night, being the one prat, extending ourselves to maybe practice later, longer, do more chanting, more meditation, and some even staying up all night. The next day, although one feels physically tired, can feel quite mentally alert, bright, peaceful. But because the body is tired, can have an effect on the mind. So we also have to be very mindful, mindful of any different defilements that can arise in our minds. Maybe we get short with people, grumpy. When we are feeling tired, we can easily lose our cool. Although we put a lot of effort into our practice, we also have to stay alert, vigilant and mindful even the next day or the coming days. So in this way we can see mindfulness practice and Buddhist practice in general is an ongoing effort, an ongoing practice that we take upon. It's not just limited to one evening or one meditation sitting. It's something that we try and include into our lives. That's why we call it a practice. Not so much a belief system. It's not that you believe in what the monks say or the nuns say and you just hold on to the concept of the Buddhist teachings. It's something that we test out for ourselves. We try and implement concepts like loving kindness. You can ask yourself, how do I practice that on a day-to-day basis? How do I incorporate the thought of loving kindness when somebody is rude to me? How can I be mindful when somebody drives poorly in front of me? How do I be mindful of loving kindness when a family member doesn't do what they're asked of them, or misbehaves in different ways? So it's at those times that we can test our Buddhist practice. Does things fall apart when things don't go our way? Or do we apply our practice of mindfulness, watching over our minds, seeing what moods or thought patterns are coming up and being mindful of them and letting them go, not just habitually following them? continuing to make the same mistakes again and again. Rather, we're aiming to establish a sense of self-awareness and restraint as well, not automatically reacting in the normal ways we used to. But as we all know, it takes time, it takes constant effort and practice. When you begin a new skill, whatever skill that we've learnt through our lives, through primary school, secondary school, university, or even in the sports, something new we've picked up. We're usually quite clumsy. We don't understand how things work yet. So we need to ask questions. We need to try it out for ourselves. We need to learn how to comprehend that skill. And sometimes we make mistakes. We think that this is the right way of doing that activity, and it turns out that it's incorrect, brings bad results. So you learn from that and you adapt your skills, you develop your skills, and you know for yourself that that is the wrong way of doing it. So then you become proficient in that skill. A good example of this is driving. Many people have learnt how to drive. And in the beginning, driving can feel very awkward. Where does the gear stick go? Which foot goes on the brake? Which foot goes on the clutch? Which foot goes on the accelerator? And doing multiple activities in one go. Moving a steering wheel, changing gears, indicating, looking in one's mirrors, having the awareness of the size of the vehicle, so you don't bump into other vehicles. And Buddhist practice is very much similar. At first we can be a bit clumsy, a bit hit and miss. We grind the gears, we stop and start the vehicle because we're not used to, say, the meditation practice or the way of making one's mind peaceful. Or in our interactions with others, sometimes we lose our mindfulness. We bump into another car, we bump into each other. But with experience and understanding how to drive or how to practice, then it becomes second nature. You know, okay, I need to stay between these two white lines while I'm driving. I have to be careful of the person in front of me, watching out and aware. If they brake, I should brake. Or mindful of when you're turning to the left or turning to the right. In that way, the same goes for Dhamma practice. We know what to watch out for. We know how to keep sila. We get familiar and know how to calm our minds down to the point where it becomes part of us, part of our nature, is to cultivate this Buddhist practice to the point where you almost don't even think about it. It's a given. You do generous things, you keep good ethics, moral integrity, and you do the meditation. It all becomes part of our character. Similar to driving, when we become good at driving, we don't even think about it. We get into the car, we grab the steering wheel, and we go. It no longer needs to be a clumsy, awkward activity, something natural and smooth. But we still have awareness. We can't be careless with our vehicle. We can't be careless with our driving. Similar to Dhamma practice, we need to be mindful and vigilant all the time. You never know when an obstacle can arise. You know how to swerve and avoid, or brake to stop. So you're constantly vigilant. That's the same in our evening meditations that we've been doing each evening. Sometimes our minds are different each night. We're learning how to control that vehicle. If it starts thinking too much, then we need to give it an object to focus on, like the Buddho or the breathing, and sincerely come back to that recitation. With the in-breath it's Buddho, out-breath Buddho. Reminding yourself of what you're doing, reminding yourselves of the instructions of how to drive. Then eventually, through much practice, it can become automatic, natural. So for the next period of time we can practice this meditation together, and I'll ring the bell at the end of the session.